Today is July the 13th. It's a Wednesday, 5:11 a.m. I'm in Nevada, north of Wendover, in the middle of nowhere. I've been doing a lot of thinking in regards to the 10,000 mile road trip. Now, in actuality, it's gonna be closer to 15,000 miles. So a quick recap. In about a month or so, I'm planning to take this car, 2006 Lamborghini Gallardo, on a road trip circumnavigating the continental United States. Now, before embarking on a journey like this, there is a ton of things to consider. First off, am I an idiot for taking this car? Should I be taking my Audi TT instead? Now, of course, that car would be much more practical, but honestly, it's not even a consideration. Of course I'm gonna take this car. When I was 10 years old, I always promised myself that someday, if I was fortunate enough to own a supercar, I would drive it everywhere. And a trip like this is the definition of an adventure in a Lamborghini. How gross is the Bonneville Salt Flats? Can you guys see all the bugs? Jeez. So today I'm on the road to Bend, Oregon. I'm 2 hours into the journey, 9 hours to go. The first consideration, and in my mind the biggest consideration, is that I'm gonna be racking up the miles on this car. Right now I have 19,415 miles on the odometer. By the time the trip is over, I'll have nearly 35,000 miles on the car. Now, from a value standpoint, 19,000 miles on a Lamborghini is somewhat of a low mileage example, whereas 35,000 miles is somewhat of a high mileage example. So from a depreciation standpoint, this car is gonna be worth dramatically less. I would estimate I'll lose $10,000 to $15,000 in depreciation purely from the additional miles. The second thing to consider, now the Gallardo, how would you say it? It doesn't get the best fuel economy. It averages anywhere from 12 to 17 miles per gallon, but to make the mathematics easy, let's make a couple assumptions. Let's assume I do 15,000 miles at 15 miles to the gallon, and the average price of fuel is $3 per gallon. That means that I will use 1,000 gallons of fuel for a grand total of $3,000. That's quite a bit to incur from a cost standpoint, and of course it could be more expensive as the price of fuel fluctuates. So to give you guys an update on today's road trip, I'm in Elko, Nevada, somewhere here in northern Nevada. Now, the third consideration. Once again, this is not a practical car for a road trip like this. The Gallardo hardly has any storage capacity. So this is just for today's mini road trip. The car is pretty packed full. However, I do believe that I have figured out the solution to solve this problem. Now, I'm not gonna let you guys know exactly what it is. It's gonna require a little bit of engineering. Some of you guys can probably figure it out, but that is in the works as well. Now remember, the first rule of Lamborghini ownership is always lot of wear and tear. So the annual service interval on a Lamborghini Gallardo is once a year or once every 7,500 miles. So that means at a bare minimum, I will have to get this car serviced twice. Also, tires. I mean, 15,000 miles, I'm gonna blow through this set of tires on the car right now. And I mean, come on, more than likely, the car's gonna break down. As much as I hate to say it, there's gonna be issues. I mean, there's gonna be struggles. That's all a part of the adventure. As I talk about this trip, the costs, they just keep on adding and adding and adding up. It's not gonna be cheap. Unsurprisingly, I've never been a fan of garage queens, as you guys can see. That being said, I want to do everything I can to keep this car looking immaculate. I'd say it's about a 9.5 out of 10. There's a few stone chips here and there, but pretty much the car is perfect. So either A, do I wrap the vehicle? B, do I put the clear paint protection film over the car? Now I know what you guys are thinking. I've been talking about protecting the paint on this car since day one. I'm sure you guys are annoyed, but trust me, this is for real. I am going to protect the paint on this car before the road trip. Also, the interior, the leather on this car. I mean, the passenger seat, it looks like nobody's ever even sat there. So I don't know if I should get some seat covers. That's probably my best bet. But I want to do everything I can to keep this car looking sharp. So to update you guys on today's journey, I'm north of Winnemucca, Nevada. And look at that road. Have you guys ever seen a road more straight than that? You'll also note the sign there on the right, Nick's Gas, 179 miles. Yeah, so I think this is probably one of the most desolate areas in the United States. Somewhere here in northern Nevada. Bugatti Chiron owners, take note. All right, so another consideration. Obviously, there are times I'm going to be in the middle of nowhere like this. I need power. Of course, I have all my camera batteries, laptop, drone batteries. So this is the solution. I have this battery pack that I can use to pretty much charge everything. Now, of course, this battery pack will only last for a certain amount of time, so I don't intend on camping every single night. I mean, there will be times when I'll stay at hotels. I figure probably 50-50. There'll be times where I'll spend, 4 nights in a row in a hotel, and then there will be, 4 nights when I'm in the middle of nowhere like here, where I'm going to be camping. So we'll see, but that's the solution right there to that issue. Oh, look at that. What do we have there? We have somebody else. So it's a real curious thing. You guys might remember about an hour ago, or in your guys' case, maybe 2 minutes ago in the video, there was that sign that said Nick's Fuel 179 miles. Well, since then, my fuel gauge has gone from here to here, and I have no idea where I am because I have no internet. I'm in the middle of nowhere. It really makes you wonder what's gonna happen. All I know is that the fuel gauge is going down very quickly. Well, there you have it, folks. We just barely made it. In Oregon, you can't actually fill up your car with fuel. They actually have an attendant. We are bugging out right now. I know exactly what I'm doing when I get home tonight. Unfortunately, both of my drone batteries are dead. My battery pack is dead. Everything is dead, which is too bad because I wanted to show you guys Horse Ridge Canyon. So I'm about 20 miles from Bend, of course, the final destination. So a big thing I need to figure out for this road trip is internet. While in Europe, internet, oh my goodness, that was the most difficult part of these YouTube videos. I mean, it would take hours and hours to upload these videos, or I wouldn't be able to upload videos at all because of a very, very poor internet connection. So I'm sure some of you guys know, I can do some research myself as well, but I need to find a device that creates a Wi-Fi hotspot that I can post YouTube videos from the convenience and comfort of my camping tent in the middle of nowhere. So that is something I need to figure out. Yeah, off to Bend. And just like that, we are here in Bend, Oregon. It feels so incredible to be back home. So we're at Pilot Butte State Park, which is this mountain that sits right in the center of town. The views are absolutely gorgeous. You can see the Cascade Mountains way back there. So this 15,000-mile road trip is insane. I mean, I feel like I've only began to touch the surface of things to consider for a trip like this. It's gonna be quite the adventure. Let's get one last look at the view. So way out there is Mount Hood. That's the tallest mountain in the state of Oregon. And then you can see more of the Cascade Range. Absolutely gorgeous evening here in Central Oregon. What an incredible trip it was today. Feels so good to be reunited with this car once again. I know exactly what my plans are. First thing tomorrow morning. We just got here to the Bonneville Salt Flats.